restraint is defined as the government making attempts to prevent speech before it's actually published. This is almost always going to be unconstitutional. Now, you can imagine the scenario where a newspaper or a periodical is about to go to press. They might call the government and say, or the government official involved, or the State Department, or whomever it may be, and say, do you have a comment? The government then takes the position that we don't want you to report this information. We believe it's going to be harmful. So they run into court to try to get an injunction to stop the press, the newspaper, etc., from being in a position where they can then report on this public information. The Times and the Post obtained and began publishing excerpts from a top-secret Department of Defense study on the Vietnam War, known as the Pentagon Papers. The Nixon administration filed suit seeking a court order, again an injunction, to prevent further publication, arguing that it would cause irreparable harm to national security. The issue became whether the federal government could impose a prior restraint, so a pre-publication ban, on a newspaper to prevent the dissemination of classified information. The court ultimately ruled 6-3 in favor of the newspapers. The court held that the government failed to meet the heavy burden of proof required for prior restraint. The publication was allowed to proceed, affirming strong First Amendment protections against government censorship. Now, to be clear, the Supreme Court didn't buy it. They basically talked about how much we respect and want to ensure that freedom of speech under the First Amendment is protected. So if the government is going to be able to stop a newspaper from actually reporting, it's going to have to be something so significant, maybe plans to derail a terrorist attack or something that's so important that there could be imminent significant harm right away if the publication were to be published in that newspaper.